magpakailanman sa aking palad ang iyong pangalan. Malilimutan ba ng ina ang anak na galing sa kanya? Sanggol sa kanyang sinapupunan, paano niyang matatalikdan? Ngunit kahit na malimutan ng ina ang anak niyang tangan, hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di mapapabayaan. Hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di mapapabayaan. Pababayaan, hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di pababayaan. Hindi kita malilimutan, hindi kita pababayaan. Nakapukit magpakailanman sa aking palad ang iyong pangalan. Malilimutan ba ng ina ang anak na galing sa kanya? Sanggol sa kanyang sinapupunan, paano niyang matatalikdan? Ngunit kahit na malimutan ng ina ang anak niyang tangan. Hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di mababayaan. Hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di mababayaan. Pababayaan, hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di pababayaan.
Hello, everyone. For those of you who may not know me, I am Nanay Celia's granddaughter and Alvin's daughter, Katrina. On behalf of my family, I would like to thank you all for joining us today in celebrating the life and legacy of my Nanay. Thank you to everyone who is here in person, and for those of you who are joining virtually due to the unfortunate circumstances, thank you for taking the time to be with us. We wish you were all here. With that being said, please bow your heads and join me in prayer. Dear God, we are gathered here today to celebrate the life of our departed loved one, Nanay Celia. We celebrate her life of love, integrity, and grace, a life that was a legacy to all those left behind. Thank you for giving us the strength to gather in this place for a service in honor of her. May this not be a day of mourning, but a day of celebration for a life that touched us all. We celebrate the memories we will always have. Bless this gathering today, Lord God, and we give thanks to you for the life we have in you. Amen. Please join us in singing our opening hymn in one of Nanay's favorite songs, Give Thanks, led by my Uncle Rudy and my mom, Bernadette. We found this song handwritten in her Bible that she wrote back in 2010.
I think you have your own copy, so if you know the song, you have a copy, you can sing along with us. because of what the Lord has done for us. And now let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. And now let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. Give thanks. Give thanks. Give thanks.
A reading from the Gospel of John. Let not your hearts be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me. In my Father's house there are many rooms. If it were not so, would I have told you that I go to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and will take you to myself, that where I am, you may be also. And you know the way to where I am going. Thomas said to him, Lord, we do not know where you are going. How can we know the way? Jesus said to him, I am the way, and the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me.
Wisdom chapter 3 verses 1 to 9. A reading from the book of Wisdom. But the souls of the just are in the hand of God, and no torment shall touch them. They seemed, in the view of the foolish, to be dead, and their passing away was thought an affliction, and their going forth from us utter destruction. But they are in peace, for if before men indeed they be punished, yet is their hope full of immortality. Chastise a little, they shall be greatly blessed, because God tried them and found them worthy of himself. As gold in the furnace, he proved them, and as sacrificial offerings, he took them to himself. In the time of their visitation they shall shine, and shall dart about as sparks through stubble. They shall judge nations and rule over peoples, and the Lord shall be their king forever. Those who trust in him shall understand truth, and the faithful shall abide with him in love. Because grace and mercy are with his holy ones, and his care is with the elect. Wisdom chapter 3 verses 1 to 9.
Hi guys, my name is AJ or Anthony. I'm Nanai's or Nanai Celia's grandson, and I am Ellen's son. And I'm so honored to be here to talk today. It's just weird. It feels weird to be here. I don't want to pretend like I'm being fake, or as I'm giving this like Bible reading and sermon, I don't want to be. It just feels weird and odd to me. But it's so easy kind of for us who were there at the end to like think about that. But in this moment now, I want us to focus in and celebrate her life and how Nanai lived. Because if we look at how Nanai lived, she lived a lot like the followers of God did in the Bible. If we looked at her life, we see she lived a lot like they did. If you look at John 15:15, it says, I no longer call you servants, but I call you friends. I call you friends. And if we look at the Old Testament, we look at Moses, and it says that he would talk to God face to face as if he was talking to a friend. And we look back to the first page of the first chapter of this amazing book. We look at Adam, and we see how he used to walk with God in the cool of the day. You see, the people of God had this relationship, this face-to-face, friend-to-friend, personal relationship with him. This wasn't a once a week, on a Sunday, every Easter, this wasn't that kind of faith. But the faith that the people of God had in the Bible was the kind of faith where they walked with him daily. They talked with him daily, and he spoke back. They lived with this daily dependence on God. And this was the kind of relationship that my nanay had with God. And I know this because I knew she has this relationship with Jesus, because every time I would peek in a nanay's room as I'm going to the bathroom, I want to say hi to her, I'd peek in her room, and she would be reading her Bible. She'd always be reading her Bible, or she'd be praying, and then she'd be snoring a little bit. But she said she was praying. I know she did. She said she was praying because she told me. But seriously, because this book, this Bible, this thing that Nanay had wasn't just an ornament on her nightstand that collected dust. But this Bible that she had was a tool that she used to talk with her God and walk in relationship with him every single day. And it says this in Matthew 25:21. God said to his servant, "Well done, my good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over little, so I will set you over much. Enter into joy with your master." And I read that because I know that's exactly what God said to Nanay when she opened her eyes again. That moment where she opened her eyes and she saw God face to face, he said, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." And she opened her eyes again. And in that moment, when she opened her eyes and she was in the presence of God, she had no pain in her tuhod. She had teeth again, not just gums. And there's this special moment, and she was in complete joy. Our Nanay, she was in complete joy. And it's hard for us here on earth, especially in this time, to understand what complete joy means. But if we look at depictions of heaven in the Bible, we see these different depictions of what it says. But it says this is one of my favorites in Revelation 21:4. It says, "He will wipe away every tear from their eyes. Death shall be no more. Neither will there be mourning or crying or any more pain, for the former things have passed away." And this time it's very bittersweet, because it's bitter, one, because we are apart from Nanay. It's very bitter. But it's sweet because I know exactly where she is. I have so much confidence that I know exactly where she is, because she's in the presence of God, and importantly, in the presence of her friend. But in times like these, even though it's sweet because we know that she's with Jesus, we're left here waiting, wondering what's next. We're asking ourselves, what do we do now? And it reminds me of the story where two artists were commissioned to do two paintings. A painting of the essence of peace. And as the crowd gathered and the two paintings were on the easels, and they were, as artists were about to present these paintings, they said, "Okay, we're ready." And the first painting was revealed. And the crowd gasped, and it was amazing. The first painting, the artist revealed how it was something. It was a picture of the sea, and it was as still as glass, as if you could even walk across it. The sky was as blue as can be, and the sunshine was cascading along the horizon. It was the essence of peace. And if you look closely at the horizon, you see two birds gliding in the sky. It was the essence of peace. And the crowd all thought to themselves, "Okay, great, that's a beautiful painting, and you know what we're just going to do ourselves? Our due diligence, and we're going to look at the second painting. We already know who the winner is. But we're going to do our due diligence, and we're going to look at the second one." And as the second painting was unveiled, there was a gasp in the room, as if the second painter had completely missed the mark. Because if you looked at the painting, it was the same painting of the ocean, and the ocean roared, and the sun refused to shine, and the sky was gray with explosions of lightning. And as they were about to write him off, they looked closer at the painting. And as they looked closely at the painting, they saw two birds sitting on two rocks. And as you look closer at the faces of those birds, absolute tranquility, almost a perfect peace. And it was clear who the winner was in the competition, because the first artist captured peace as the absence of trial and struggle, whereas the second artist captured peace not in the absence of trial and fury and fight, but in the presence of the storm, in the presence of heartbreak, in the presence of mourning. I can stand and still have peace, because I know that the rock that I stand on is my God. It says in Psalm 18:2 that the Lord is my rock and my fortress, my Savior. My God is my rock in whom I have safety and protection. He is my shield. And for Nanai, her rock was God. He was her support, the one she spent the most time with, because she was in her room just reading her Bible. The one she relied on, the one thing she knew would not fail her. So my question to you, for us today, for you guys watching, is what's your rock? What is your rock? We need to be honest with ourselves in this room, not a time to be fake. But we need to be honest. What's our rock? What's the thing that we rely on for security, the thing that we depend on? If not God, then is it your career? What's our rock? If not God, is it family? Is it friends? Is it money? Is it your retirement? Is it your stress? What is your rock? Because everything but Jesus fades away. And it makes me think, when I think of Nanai, when I was leaving for Thanksgiving, our Thanksgiving break, I remember I did my same routine as I was about to leave. I walked down the hall and I opened the door and I said, "Okay, Nana, it's time for me to go. It's time for me to leave." And she looked at me. She lifted her head up from her Bible with tears rolling down her face, and she said, "I'm just going to miss you. I'm going to miss you." And I said, "Nah, you still owe me a 20. What are you talking about?" She said, I said, "Nana, it's only going to be 2 weeks. It's only going to be 2 weeks, and then I'll see you again. You don't need to cry." But she kept saying, "I'm just going to miss you. I'm just going to miss you." And it's those words, because that's the last time I spoke to Nanai before she came back in a hospital bed. But it's bittersweet, because I know that I will see her again. I know I will. Running, she'll be talking, she'll catch me up on stuff in heaven, like how the toilet works, and what the best food spots are, and she probably has even the best canteen in heaven. I don't know. But guys, it's hard, because God uses this temporary time of separation between us and Nanai. I think God uses this to remind us that life is very short. Life is very short. We can't just keep going through the motions, living in the mundane. We have to realize life is very short. It says in James 4, "Do not say you'll go to this town and this town, but we don't know what tomorrow will bring. We're not promised tomorrow." It says that in James. So today, again, I have to ask you the same question. What's your rock? What are you living for? What are you dependent on? And I know Nanai would want me to ask you this question, because she had this relationship with Jesus, a relationship like the people of God did. Do you have a relationship with Jesus? And it's a different question than, are you a good person? Because if I ask you that, if you ask me that, we'd say, yeah, I haven't killed anyone. I'm a good person. But it's just like when my mom asked me to clean my room, and then 20 minutes later she comes back and she says, "AJ, did you clean your room?" I say, "Yeah." She said, "No." Because me and my mom have a different definition of what clean is. Just like me and God, us and God have a very different definition of what good is. Because it says in Romans, "There's no one good, not one." We can't earn our way to heaven. There's no amount of good works that's going to get us there. It says in Romans 3:23 that all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. But if we look closer in the text, there's a big but. I don't know about you guys, but I love the big buts in the Bible. It says, but we are justified by his grace as a gift. We have all fallen short of the glory of God, but we are justified by his grace as a gift. So I'm here to tell you, no matter what you've done in the past, no matter how you're living now, no matter how far gone you feel from God, we can't earn his grace. We will never deserve his grace, but it's a gift that we must accept. Because Jesus doesn't want your help. He wants your heart today. So I don't know if that's you. If you want a real relationship with Jesus, like the one my nana had, the one that I'm talking about up here, the one that's when you're fully dependent on him day by day, not just on Sunday, not just on Easter, not just on Christmas, but a faith that is reliant on Jesus. Right now, whether you have done it before or you want to recommit your life to him, or today's the first time, I would like you guys to follow me in this prayer. So if you guys want to bow your heads and close your eyes. And if that's you and you would like this relationship that I'm talking about with Jesus, the one that my nana had, would you follow me in this prayer? You can repeat this in your head. Dear God, thank you for what you did for me on that cross. I thank you that you are my rock, you are my shelter, and I can rely on you. This day I give you my life, and I live the rest of my life for you and with you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. So I love you guys, and I hope that if you guys have any questions, if you guys said yes to that prayer, said yes to Jesus, would you contact me? If you didn't, but you still have questions, would you please contact me? I love you guys. But I hope this encouraged your heart today, and the assurance and knowing that we know exactly where Nana is. And at this time, my dad and I are gonna play a song. It's called Homesick by Mercy Me. My mom asked us to play the song, and it's all about the idea of how Nana is home with Jesus. Like, you know that idea, the expression of home is where the heart is? And our heart is with Nana, and we long to be with her, but right now we can't. So that's what the song is about. So yeah, I'm going to grab my guitar. You're in a better place, I've heard 1,000 times. And at least 1,000 times I've rejoiced for you. But the reason why I'm broken and the reason why I cry is I long to wait to be with you. 'Cause I close my eyes and I see your face. If home's where my heart is, then I'm out of place. Lord, won't you give me strength to make it through somehow? I've never been more homesick than now. And in Christ, there are no goodbyes. And in Christ, there is no end. So I'll hold on to Jesus with all that I have. again, and I close my eyes and I see your face. If home's where my heart is, then I'm out of place. Lord, won't you give me strength to make it through somehow? I've never been more homesick than now. 'Cause I close my eyes and I see your face. If home's where my heart is, then I'm out of place. Lord, won't you give me strength to make it through somehow? I've never been more homesick than now. I've never been more homesick than now. At this time, eulogies, is that what it is? Yeah. At this time, I'd welcome, if you'd like to speak or say anything for Nanai, we'd welcome you to come up.
Hello everyone, I'm Alvin and Macelia's son. On behalf of my family, I would like to thank you for joining us to pay respect to my mom. When I think about Nanay, the first thought that comes to my mind is her faithfulness to my dad. Nanay became a widow at the age of 38 and never remarried. We were all very young when my tatay passed away. I was 8 years old, Josie was 7, and Errol was 3 years old. I still remember seeing her crying almost every day for weeks. Nanay loved my tatay so much. And she had to raise 3 kids on her own. She took it really hard, and I cannot imagine what's going through her mind. Nanay was such a simple woman. She never asked for much. Her joy was to be with her family and help her relatives in the Philippines. She was always sending balikbayan boxes and money to the Philippines. We all miss her a lot already. Although I'm saddened by Nana's death, it brings me comfort knowing that she's with my tatay now. Nanay was thoughtful and generous. For instance, when Nanay found out that the grocery stores in the Bay Area stopped giving out plastic bags, Nanay started saving plastic bags in Roseville so she could give them to us when we see her. Nanay used to give monthly allowances to her grandchildren. She will call me or my wife in the corner and give the money discreetly. Nanay taught me many things, but the one that meant the most was the importance of family. Nanay always remember birthdays of her closest relatives, and she would call us on our birthdays. She will also give to my wife and me and money to my kids. When a relative passes away or gets sick in the Philippines, she would call me to let me know and say, Alvin, without saying hello. Magbigay naman tayo ng ambag doon sa namatay o yung nakasakit na kamag-anak natin. As you can tell, Nanay was the most selfless and generous woman. She never once did anything for herself. As I look back to my time with Nanay, I realize how blessed I was to have her around my family. She was always willing to help and love all of us unconditionally. Goodbye, Nanay. And thank you for the sacrifices that you made for raising Josie, Ellen, and me. We will always love you, and you will always be missed. Rest in peace, Nanay, and say hello to Tatay.
Okay na. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Josie Samonte Benitez, pangalawang anak ni Macelia Samonte na nakatira dito po sa Pilipinas. Ako po taos puso nagpapasalamat sa inyong lahat na nakiramay sa aming pamilya. Meron po akong mensahe sa nanay ko na kung di ko man siya nakita, nakausap, ay ibigay ko man lamang itong mensahe ko sa kanya. Ay, Kapi, could you come back and stay a while? I want to hear your voice and see your smile. I want to hold you tight and never let go. And tell me how much I love you, Inay. I wish could climb you to heaven, give you a big hug, and tell how much I miss you. Thank you for loving me, Inay, and helping me. Miss you dearly. You will always be in my heart. I thought of you with love today, but that is nothing new. I thought about you yesterday and days before that. I too think of you in a silence open. Speak your name. All I have are memories and your picture in a frame. Your memory is my keepsake with which I'll never part. God has in His keeping. I have you in my heart and I forever. You'll be until we meet again. I love you so much, Nay. Love, Josie. Nay, kung nasan ka man naroroon, mahal na mahal kita, Nay. Kung alam mo lang kung gaano kita kamahal, kahit hindi kita nakasama, nayakap, Nay. Isisigaw ko sa iyo kung gaano kita kamahal, Nay. I love you, Nay. I love you.
And at this time, whoa, that was loud, sorry. At this time, if you guys would still want to say some words, this would be the time to do so.
Good afternoon. I'm Dory Solis Antonio. I'm Nanay Celia's granddaughter through her brother Mamerto Solis. Anyway, I do not prepare anything. I do not have any written down because I just want to say something, the memory about Nanay. Way back in the Philippines, I am not close to Nanay Celia. Then, coming here in America, I think 2001, then she just came 2002. That's the time that I start calling her in the telephone, and then she's like the oldest family here in America with Ate Ellen. Anyway, I just remember one time when she called me in the telephone that, Dory, do you know what? Your Ate Ellen was so mad to you because you did not come to the fiesta. It was October 2003 because I met Edward on that day. And then Nanay told me that, oh, you should tell her. You know what I mean? I told her, no, I just want to introduce Edward to them later, but do not tell them. Anyway, and so I told Nanay, what do you think we're gonna be the reaction? Anyway, and she told me like, okay, we're just gonna find out. Then I introduced Edward to the Samonte, to the Barroso, and to the family here in America. And then Nanay told me that, oh, magugustuhan nila sila. Kasi during that time, when I introduced Edward to Nanay, Nanay told me that, oh, he's like Rudy, mabait. You know what? They were gonna like them, you know. Magugustuhan nila sila. Magugustuhan nila si Edward. So that's the time that I start being very close to her. And she's just like the oldest family here that I can rely on too. And I have a lot of memories, and when I saw the pictures, yeah, we have so a lot of memories with Nanay. And I saw how sometimes she confides me, sometimes she calls me in the telephone, like she confides story or telling something or telling any problems, like she can confide to Ate Ellen or to Kuya Alvin. And sometimes I just comfort her, like, so this is the way the family is anyway. But I will tell you, like, Ate Josie, when she just stopped before, I just realized, like, Nanay love her so much because she can do everything for Ate Josie. She can sacrifice, she can, what I mean, I do not know how I was going to explain this. As a mother, I told her sometimes, like, Nay, it's too much to do that. But you know what? I can tell as a mother how she wants to please Ate Josie, how she wants to just to give everything for Ate Josie. And that's how she is. She's a very loving mother. And then sometimes when she confided me, like, masama ang loob kay Ate Ellen, sometimes I told her, Nanay, you know what? That's the way she is. But she told me, Ate Ellen, she loves you so much also. Sometimes she cannot say that to you, but I can tell every time that I talk to her, she loves you so much. And even Brother Rudy, you know what? Every time I talk to her, she always like, halos ang papuri niya sa'yo. Like, ang beet ni Rudy. Napaka-beet ni Rudy. Anyway, and because you sacrifice everything for her, Ate Ellen and Brother Rudy. And she knew that. Anyway, the best memory is, this is the best memory that I will not gonna forget. Even this is Christmas 2019. This is the first time that for 3 nights, magkatabi kami matulog because that is the time that Edward was in the Philippines. And then after 5 years, that I do not celebrate Christmas with the Barroso, with the Samonte, because I always celebrated Christmas with Edward's relatives. And she was so happy. And she told me that, bakit ngayon mo lang ginawa ito na lagi mo kaming hindi sinisipot for Christmas. And then she told me that, buti na lang si Edward nasa Pilipinas, and at least you can make it. And I do not know that's the last Christmas that makakasama ko siya. And the best memory is when we're sleeping together, she told me that, Dory, I can't sleep because, you know what, you sleep so well and you're snoring. And then I told her, what's wrong? And then I can't sleep. She tried to get it up because my tuhod is so much pain in her knees. And I told him, okay, you know what? What I was gonna do is I will just gonna get an oil and then rub it, and then just hinihilot ko. And then she fell asleep, and she told me that, can you do it again the following day? And then that night, she told me that, oh, do you know what? AJ gave me this CBD oil. And that oil, I just was so very surprised what kind of oil is that? And then, you know what? After I just rubbed it to her, she told me like, oh my goodness, it's really, it helps her a lot. It helps her a lot. And then I told Ate Ellen that Ate Ellen, I think you really need to do it to her to hilutin yung kanyang knee and yung paa every night, and I think it helps her. And what Ate Ellen told me, she did it every single day that night that I told her about it. And then the last time that I found out that Nanay was in the first time, December 8th, I was so very hesitate that something going on, and I do not know what is this feeling. I just called Ate Ellen during my break time, and she told me, oh, Nana was in the hospital. And what happened? Oh, something happened, and then this is the first time that she was hospitalized, right, December 8th. And then she told me that, oh, but the doctor told her that she's fine. She's a very strong woman. All of the lab works are fine. And then I think the following day or December 10, she was released in the hospital. And then when I called Ate Ellen, she told me that, do you want to talk to Nanay? And when I talked to her, it's different because I told her, Nay, what's wrong? Why you can hear me now? You know what I mean? Because very often when I call her, she can't hear me. And then Nanay told me that, oh, I get a new hearing aid. And I said like, oh my God, Nanay, so I can call you now, and then it's not going to be really hard for you to understand because, yeah, that's the first time, right, Ate Ellen, when she got her hearing aid. And then I told her, this is December 10, and that's the last day that, after that, I didn't even have a chance to talk to her anymore. And I was very excited that I can call her every now and then because of her hearing aid. And that was December 10, and that's the last day. That's the last day that she was so very enthusiastic. She just tell a lot of story what happened to the hospital because that is the first time that she was hospitalized. And then after that, the last time that I saw her, it's a day before na mawala siya. And then the last time na I saw her, it's 5 hours before her death, that me and Edward, we prayed together. And the last word that we told her, just go. And we know that you were going to be happy where you're going to go. And I just asked the Lord that open the door for her. So I have a lot of memories that Nanay can keep in my heart. She was a very strong woman, very loving mother, loving, even helping a lot of people in the Philippines. She always think every single day, not for herself, for the people in the Philippines, especially our relatives in the Philippines. Our relatives in the Philippines, she always wants to help them, even in this, kahit na kaunting pera na lang ang meron siya, she wanna give it to them, and that's how she is. And again, Nanay, wherever you are, you're still in my heart, and thank you for loving us, and thank you for you helped me here in America. Even though I do not have a family here, but I can feel that I have a mother here in America. And thank you, Nanay.
When I think about my Nanay, it's the little things that stand out. She would also always keep a stack of honey-made graham crackers in her purse when she was with us, and I could tell she was always hungry. It's for her to eat throughout the day, and instead she would let my kuya John or I eat the honey graham crackers instead of her in the car, and she would be so happy to give it out to us. And I just remember when she'd be so excited to pull me into her room to give me gifts, and she goes, "Katrina, come here, come here." And I go, okay, like what's going on in there? And she would have like spandex shorts or slippers and would give them to me. And she'd be so happy to give me those things. Or how recently when I worked from my ninang and uncle's house, I would be on a really important call with my boss. And I would say, "Nanay, please, I'm begging you, please, like I just need a little bit of quiet for just 20 minutes. And she would be in the background saying, "Eat na, Katrina, eat na." And I'd be like, "Nanay, please, like Nanay." But as you can tell, she had always wanted to make sure that I was comfortable and that I ate whenever I stayed with my ninang and my uncle. I'm sure most of us here share the same feelings I have when I think about her. A sense of warmth and comfort of someone who lived a simple life and loved her children and grandchildren so dearly. I remember on one of her last days, she was in a lot of pain. And my ninang and I were by her side, rubbing her head, trying to make her as comfortable as we could. And at this point, she didn't have the strength to speak anymore. So instead, she lifted her hands and outlined the shape of a rectangle in the air like this, indicating she wanted me to read one of her favorite prayers. And a particular part has stuck with me since then. It reads, "Lord, please keep me safe from all hurt, harm, or danger, and help me to start this day with a new attitude and plenty of gratitude. Let me make the best of each and every day to clear my mind so that I can hear from you. Please broaden my mind that I can accept all things. Let me not whine and whimper over things that I have no control over. Let me continue to see sin through God's eyes and acknowledge it as evil. And when this world closes in on me, let me remember Jesus' example, to slip away and find a quiet place to pray. It's the best response when I'm pushed beyond my limits, and I know that when I can't pray, you listen to my heart and continue to use me to do your will." Reading this brought me to tears, because despite all the hardships in her life, from losing her husband at a young age, having one of her children live in a different country, the physical pain she endured during her last moments of life, and not having the means to go experience things on her own, my nanay's faith never wavered. She embodied what it means to be a faithful follower of God. She was so selfless and had nothing but love and gratitude in her heart for the life she's lived, for being able to watch her grandchildren grow up, and for her 3 children. My dad, an honest and good man and father. My tita Josie, whom my nanay loves so much, and my ninang, a woman of faith who emanates nothing but love and positivity for those around her. We were all the most important people in the world to my nanay. She lived for us to make our lives better and did not ask for anything in return. I know a lot of us here wish we took the time to talk to her more and listen to her thoughts and feelings. It's something I deeply regret. But one of the silver linings of this memorial service is that it has brought all the people my nanay loves together, both physically and virtually. And there is a part of her in each of us here. It is permanent, and it keeps her from becoming just a wonderful memory. It allows her in so many ways to remain just as alive as always, alive through us. So as we leave here today, I hope we can look to each other and find that part of her that she gave to each of us and honor it in the way we live our lives. So Nanay, for your humor, tenderness, and compassion, your understanding, your patience, and your love. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love you.
While you guys were talking, I just thought of another memory. Man, I love Nana. I remember like we'd go to the Bay Area a lot, and Nana would come into the van with us. Like just when Katrina was talking about the graham crackers, she had that same version for me and Andrew. We like, Nana, do you have any food? And she's like, yeah, I have candy. And it always is halls, just the halls, like throat lozenges. And I'm like, Nana, I don't want that. Or like when we were in the car, like me and Andrew just like touched Nana's earlobes because they're like super soft. Just weird stuff like that. Like I just remember with Nana, like, and she would always have vinegar fish in the house, and the house would smell really good if you like that. Yeah, I mean, man, my Nana, man, I'm gonna miss her. It's weird because, like, it's just weird. It's like what Tito Alvin was saying, how her joy was her family. I think that's so true. Man, would that be true for us? Like, let's not take it for granted. Like, it's hard. And someone said on the phone with my mom, like, man, it's bad. It's sad that this is what it takes for us to come together. And yeah, it's true. I think, man, we should not like take life for granted. We should really cherish the people next to us, not get caught in this American dream, getting lost in the mundane of working until retirement and then dying. Like that's not what we're here for. Let's cherish the ones we have. But man, I'm gonna miss Nana and her throat lozenges and vinegar fish. Yeah, I'm gonna miss you. Thanks, guys.
Just bear with me. You know, public speaking is not my forte, but I'll do it for Nanay. First of all, on behalf of my family, I would like to begin by thanking everyone that's here today, as well as those who have sent their condolences. Your expressions of love and support have been very comforting during this difficult time and have been a reminder of the impact that Nanay had on so many people. My name is Bernadette, and I'm Alvin's wife. We have 3 children, Christian, Katrina, and John. As Nanay Celia's daughter-in-law, I'm forever grateful, and I feel blessed that I had her in my life. You know, years from now, if someone asked me how Nanay was, and I would say that she was gracious and kind. She was so loving and patient and unassuming. She was simple and lived such a simple life. You know, she showed me so much love, and I wish I showed her how much I appreciate and love her more often than I did. I wish I was able to show her how much I appreciated her and how much she means to me. Oh my God. You know, back in 2010, I had an injury and I broke my ankle. while I was recovering, Nanay Celia stayed with us for a month and he took care of me. During that time, we live in a townhouse. And I remember she would climb up those stairs, even though she had a hard time, just to deliver me food for breakfast and lunch every single day until I was able to walk. She did that with no complaints. To me, that was love, unconditional love. When my leg healed up enough for us, for me to start walking again, Nana and I would go walk at Central Park in San Mateo. One day we ended up doing Tai Chi class. Imagine us doing Tai Chi. There was an elderly Chinese woman who played music on a huge boombox. We would be in the middle of the park doing Tai Chi, and we would walk around the park. And then when we had time or we had energy, we would walk across the street to this cafe called Boulangerie, and we would either eat breakfast there or buy something for us to bring home. And if the Japanese garden was open, we would go there and stop by. Nanay was the one who taught me how to cook. I think it's called pinangat na pampano, which became my favorite. That was her favorite and became my favorite. The house would smell, but it's okay. She would make, I think it's called ensaladang pepino or cucumber. She would make that for me. And she was the one who taught me how to make sweet potatoes. I don't know how to cook, but she taught me how to bake and eat that. So one time I bought two, one for her and one for me. And I told her, okay, Nai, one is for you. And I brought mine to work. But then when I got home, I saw her still sitting on top of the microwave. And I asked her, Nai, how come you didn't eat your sweet potato? And she said, I thought we were, I guess she misunderstood. She thought I only bought one. And she waited for me. And she said, akala ko, ihintayin kita bago ako kumain. That was her. She was just thoughtful and generous. I remember talking to her one time. I said to her, Nai, I need to put something between the TV and the TV stand so that it would not scratch our TV stand. And then the next thing I knew, when she went back to the Philippines, she came back with these 2 TV covers that she crocheted for me. She always gave me gifts on my birthdays. And she would give me an Alvin Christmas gifts on Christmas. When we would visit Roseville, I remember she would give money to my sister-in-law, so my sister-in-law could cook menudo and caldereta, because she knew those were my favorite food. Because of everything she did for my family and me, I tried my best to show her my gratitude by taking her out whenever she stayed with us. Whenever I could, I would ask her to go on a walk with me at a park or inside the mall. I can still remember seeing the joy in her eyes when we first got on the elevator in Hillsdale. She asked me to take pictures of her so she could send it to Josie. Sometimes I would bring her to a local Asian store just to give her a chance to go out and experience buying vegetables on her own. I knew how much she enjoyed watching Filipino shows, so I would make sure to call the cable company ahead of time so we have TFC and GMA while she was staying with us. I think 2 years ago, when the idea of her going back to the Philippines for good came up, for some reason she wanted me to bring her home. She kept saying, "Det, uwi tayo sa Pilipinas. Yatid mo ko." It was supposed to happen at the beginning of 2020. But then we asked her, "Nay, hintayin niyo muna until June so you could be there when John graduates from high school." Because Nanay, she made it a point to attend all of my kids' birthdays and graduation. Unfortunately, due to COVID, John's graduation had to be virtual, and the plan of going home did not happen. It breaks my heart that whenever Nana and I spoke on the phone, she would ask about John, wondering if we would still have a regular graduation. I'm not sure why Nana wanted me to bring her home, but I wish I had that chance to fulfill that promise. But as soon as this pandemic is over, we're looking forward to bring her home to reunite her with her husband. Nay, I hope I was able to show you how much I love you during your last days. I did my best. Say hello to my tatay and to Kakaminya for me.
Hello, everybody. Okay. Like that. Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you all for joining us this evening. And for those attending this memorial service from home, it is unfortunate that you're unable to be here today due to the current pandemic, but thank you so much. And we wish that you were all here with us. The past few months have been difficult for my family and I, but we deeply appreciate the love and support from each and every one of you. We are so grateful to have such a loving family and such caring friends. To begin, my name is John, and out of all of Nanay Sali's grandchildren, I was probably her favorite grandchild. Yeah. I'm just kidding, but yeah. Oh, okay. I'm just kidding, but I'm glad that some of you are smiling because, dude, I'm just kidding, but I'm glad that some of you are smiling because Nanay Celia had a great smile. In fact, it was contagious. Growing up, every time my family visited my Ninang Ellen's house, there would always be these small moments when someone, probably either my brother, sister, AJ, or Andrew, would ask Nanay a funny question or say or do something to make her laugh. She would smile, and the smile on her face would be so big that you couldn't even see her eyes anymore. She'd just be squinting too hard. You could see, however, the bottom teeth on her dentures. Just the bottom, but never the top, for whatever reason. And after seeing the joy on her face, every single person around her could not help but smile until their smile was just as big as my Nanay Celia's. These moments were small, yes, but they are a prime example of how impactful Nanay Celia was on those around her, especially on those she held close to her heart. You know, when my dad was young, about 8 or 9 years old, I think he said 8, his dad, Nanay Celia's husband, passed away at a young age. I can't even imagine how sad she was during that time, but I know that she didn't let her sadness get in the way of fulfilling her duties as a mother. She had to take care of her 3 children, none above the age of 10, by herself. And the thing about kids is they're takers. The parents here, you guys know, kids have a lot of needs and wants that are expected to be given to them by their parents because parents are supposed to be the givers. And even though the love of Nanay Celia's life, the other giver that gave her his love, passed away, she still found the strength to give all the love she had to her children and her family because she cared so much about them. Nanay Celia was a giver. There were also these moments that would occur between Nanay and I when she would stay over at our house for a week or two. Sometimes I would just get curious and ask Nanay a question about her life in the Philippines or about how my dad was like when he was younger. And every time, she would just look at me with a blank face and say, "Huh?" really loudly. And for some reason, I thought that she would understand my English better if I yelled louder than her. But again, she would respond with that same, "Huh." My mom would then come and say, "Nay," and repeat my question to Nanay in Tagalog. After, Nanay would look at me and answer my question in Tagalog. And when she finished speaking, I would look at her with the same blank expression as the one that she gave me just a few moments ago and tell her, "Nanay, I do not understand anything that you're saying right now." This, out of all things, though, she would understand and she would start laughing and smiling. I'd start laughing and smiling right after. You see, these moments happen because out of all my siblings and I'm the only one who never picked up Tagalog. So since Nanay could not speak or understand English well and I could not understand or speak Tagalog well, these moments would always occur between us. But even though these were happy memories, I can't help but reflect on how this language barrier affected my relationship with my Nanay Celia. Because I could never understand her and she could never understand me, I didn't really have too many meaningful conversations with her. I know I knew my Nanay Celia and the kind of person she was, but I regret to say that I did not make enough of an effort to know her fully or entirely. I never asked her about her childhood or about how she felt when she left the Philippines or about how sad she was when her husband died. I did not know that she had 3 other siblings. Yeah, I never knew that. Until 2 weeks ago, I never even knew that the reason she immigrated here from the Philippines was to take care of me as a baby while my parents were at work. Like, that's crazy. I did not know until 2 weeks ago. And I'm so sad that I can no longer ask her to tell me her stories because she has passed away. I'm sorry that in our relationship, I was more of a taker than a giver. I'm sorry because I took her for granted. I'm sorry that I wasn't present more often in the moments that I had with her. I wish I became her friend. I wish I showed her how much I loved her and how much she meant to me more often because I did love her and she did mean so much to me. I know that some of you may share these same feelings as me. A lot of you probably wish that you could have done something differently in terms of your relationship with Nanay Celia. But even though she has passed away, a piece of her lives on in each and every one of us. The love and support that we have for one another, Nanay is a part of that. The laughs and smiles that we will share today, Nanay is definitely a part of that. And the moments when we choose to be givers and not takers, Nanay will always be a part of that. Nanay Celia, I hope you know how much you mean to all of us. We love you so much, and I know you're looking down at us from heaven, smiling with your dentures in your mouth. I can't wait to see you again in heaven where you can tell me your stories and introduce me to your husband and your siblings. Thank you.
else like to speak before the closing remarks? Okay. Wait, Christian, you're up.
Hello. Hello, everyone. I'm Christian, and I'm the eldest grandchild. I wish I didn't agree to do the closing remarks because I didn't know I'd be this emotional. And I've cried like 4 or 5 times already. So I feel like I've drank all day and sobered up 3, 4 times before I got up here. So, bear with me if I slur my speech. But, coming into this, I was supposed to prepare a speech, but I didn't want to cry, so I didn't write anything down. The only thing I have written on my phone, and I'll just get this out of the way now because it's the only thing I have, is there will be refreshments after this gathering, so please make note of that. But to move on, to speak about Nanay, I guess my first memory of her is when John was born, my Nanay came here, and I was already 10 years old, stubborn as hell, and I was like, who is this lady? She just, we live in a 1-bedroom apartment, there's 5 of us, and then she's gonna stay with us, and then, there's not enough room. So I was like, who is this lady? And then to make it even not worse, but my brother was born, and I was so excited to have a baby brother because I only had a sister, and, it's kind of weird I wanted a brother, not just a sister. So I was like, I can't wait to meet John. But then we were stuck at this pharmacy for 2 hours because Nanay needed medicine. And, I was like, why do we have to be here? I want to see my brother. And then, but, thinking back to that, growing up, my dad was always really quiet. My dad never showed emotion. He didn't really open up to people. So when he kind of told me, like, hey, my Nanay's sick, or she needs this medicine, he was stern with me. We need to go here. So, the first time I was like, wow, my dad has emotions. Like, this is really good. So before I move on with the speech, I want to give a special shout out to my dad. It's a big weekend for him. It was his birthday yesterday, so to deal with his Nanay's passing during his birthday, Nanay's memorial today, and if you know my dad, the Super Bowl tomorrow. He loves the Super Bowl, so I wanted to give him a shout out on his important weekend. But reading up on grandparents, they said that grandparents provide 2 important things: a connection to your parents, and also a buffer or protection from your parents. So for the protection part, I was an idiot kid. I heated something up in the microwave with foil, and I blew up our microwave and broke it. When my dad got home and got mad at me, as a annoying grandchild, I said that Nanay did it. And then instead of blaming me, my Nanay just stayed quiet and took it. So my dad thought that she did it. So at that point, she provided protection for my dad. And then at the same time, she provided connection to my dad and also my ninang. Like my dad and ninang are very alike. They're almost like twins. So to see, when Nanay got here, we kind of saw like a kind of a hidden eye of like how they grew up and why the way they are. I don't want to get too sad, so I'll say like the funny stuff. But one thing that I noticed that how my ninang and my dad are and how they got it from my Nanay is the 3 of them, they walked the line of being cheap but very giving at the same time. So they love, if you know my dad and Andrew, Katrina, AJ, and John know this, they love leftovers. Like, we will eat the same Filipino food 2-3 days because they love leftovers. That's how you could, and then I'll ask my dad, can we get McDonald's? Can we get Wingstop? No, we have sinigang at home. We have tinalo at home, but that was like from 2 days ago. But we still got some, so we'll just re-cook some rice. And then, but at the same time, even though they're, in that way cheap, when we do have family gatherings or people come over, they'll prepare a lot of food because they're super they're super hospitable, they're super giving to everybody. When we have guests, my dad will make sure to have enough food, drink, everything prepared. Anytime I go to my ninang's house, especially now as I'm a working adult, I love to go there because it's free food and it's unlimited food. So they really got that from Nana, where she was super giving. There were times where she would eat the same leftovers, but she would cook good new food for Katrina, John, and I when we were growing up. She'll eat the same sardines or the same oatmeal she had from the morning, but she'll cook us new food. Another memory of Nanai is, or it's more of a smell, it's Bengay. She overdosed on Bengay. She put it everywhere. So, as AJ said, I hope when she gets, now that she's in heaven, either her knees are good or they have unlimited Bengay, so she's perfectly fine. And, like my dad said, she never missed a birthday. As a kid in high school or college or while I'm working, I'll always get a 916 phone number. I was so mean. I didn't even save Nanai's number in my phone, but I would always get a 916 call on my phone and in a voicemail saying happy birthday. And I always knew every morning of my birthday, Nanai would give me a call. Another thing is, and I need to work on it, but to this day, I don't know how to do dishes. And it's because as the oldest child, I was supposed to do the dishes while my parents were working, but I knew Nanai would do the dishes when she took care of us. So we would eat, we would, use up a lot of dishes, but we would never do the dishes because we knew Nanai would end up cleaning it. So thank you for Nanai for spoiling me, but I probably should learn how to do dishes now. And another memory is, if you know me, I'm a huge Laker fan. I'm a huge Kobe fan. Nanai loved TV Patrol. This, unfortunately, TV Patrol would play at the same time as most Laker games. So, as an annoying grandchild, she'll be in the middle of watching TV Patrol, and I'd be like, Nanai, we gotta change it to the Laker game. We gotta watch Kobe. And it turned into a point where she started watching Laker games with me. She would be rooting for Kobe, until, later, a few years later, we'll be watching a game, and she'll be like, Kobe. I'm like, Nanai, he's light skinned. That's Steph Curry. They don't all look alike. Like, you can't be calling everyone Kobe. Like, it's a different jersey, but that's all. Her lasting memory would just always be watching basketball with me. So, I want to thank Nanai for being super great to Uncle Rudy and to my mom, and also Uncle Ed in the Philippines. She treated everyone as her child, and even to embrace her in her son and daughter-in-laws like that is amazing. Like I said, my dad is very quiet, but he's one of the greatest guys, the most giving person I know. So, and I think with Nanai coming here, it kind of gave us an opening of who my dad is. So I'm thankful that my Nanai came here so I can really get to know my dad. I guess I'm supposed to do closing remarks. I want to give thanks to all the family, like our family and friends that helped out. Everyone who reached out, family, friends, cousins, everyone reached out. Everyone asked, what do you need? So I want to thank all the family for that. If there's one, obviously besides Nanai passing, I think the one thing that we really regret and that's unfortunate is, as our family knows, is anytime someone passes in our family, I know it's sad, but it's also like a celebration of life. It's really fun when all our cousins from LA, Vegas, we all get together, we hang out, and we celebrate someone who passed. But because of COVID, we're not able to give Nanai the send off that she deserves. If COVID wasn't going on, this would be filled with like almost 100 people in and out. There will be a bunch of food. We would be hanging out with cousins. It would be a celebration. So it's really unfortunate that this happened. And another thing is, as most Filipino families, we got a bunch of nurses in our family. We got aunts, cousins, they're all nurses. And, with the time that we're in, I wanted to just give a shout out to all nurses and all, the true first responders that are out there battling this situation and this COVID. I want to remind people to just be selfish. Don't be selfless. Don't think of yourselves. Stay home. We're all young adults. We're healthy, but we have to keep in mind the elderlies that can be affected by this pandemic and this sickness. So I want to let people know, please stay home. Let's just battle this together so that we can get through this and that we can, as a family, bring Nanay home so we can give her the proper respect that she deserves. And I want to thank everyone for being here. Thank you for all the people from the Philippines, Australia, all over the US for joining via Zoom or YouTube, sorry. And I hope that we can enjoy and see each other soon and celebrate Nanay, in the correct manner. So thank you.
At this time, we're gonna have food coming in. We have like refreshments over there, so don't feel like you have to be chained to your seats. You guys could stand and walk around, go outside, whatever you want. But just know that there's food and refreshments. Thanks, guys, for being here.
Hindi kita pababayaan. Nakabukit magpakailanman sa aking palad ang iyong pangalan. Malilimutan ba ng ina ang anak na galing sa kanya?
Also, the food, just so you know, is like individual boxes, so it won't be touched by other people, so it's COVID safe. So please stay, take it home. It will be coming soon. It's great food.
Ngunit kahit na malimutan ng ina ang anak niyang tangan, hindi kita malilimutan kailan may di mababayaan. Hindi kita malilimutan kailan may di mababayaan. pakailanman sa aking palad ang iyong pangalan. Malilimutan ba ng ina ang anak na galing sa kanya? Sanggol sa kanyang sinapupunan, paano niyang matatalikdan? Ngunit kahit na malimutan ng ina ang anak niyang tangang, hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di pababayaan. 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 Hindi kita malilimutan, hindi kita pababayaan. Nakabukit man pakailanman sa aking palad ang iyong pangalan. Malilimutan ba ng ina ang anak
The food will be ready in 5 minutes.
galing sa kanya? Sanggol sa kanyang sinapupunan, paano niyang matatalikdan? pababayaan. Hindi kita malilimutan kailan may pagkailanman sa aking ang iyong pangalan. Malilimutan ba ng ina ang anak na galing sa kanya? Sanggol sa kanyang sinapupunan, paano yan matatalikdan? Ngunit kahit na malimutan ng ina ang anak niyang tangan, hindi kita malilimutan kailan may di ka pabayaan. kailanman sa aking malilimutan ba
Hello, everyone. There's food on the left if you would like any sandwiches from Panera.
ang anak na galing sa kanya? Sanggol sa kanyang sinapupunan. Paano nang matatalikdan? Ngunit kahit na malimutan ng ina ang anak niyang tangang, hindi kita malilimutan. Kailan may di mapapabayaan. Hindi kita malilimutan. Kailan may di mapapabayaan. Hindi kita malilimutan. Kailan may di mababayaan. Hindi kita malilimutan. Kailan may kailanman sa aking palad ang iyong pangalan. Malilimutan ba ng ina ang anak na galing sa kanya? Sanggol sa kanyang sinapupunan. Paano niyang matatalikdan? Ngunit kahit na Hindi kita malilimutan, hindi kita pababayaan. Nakabukit man pagkailanman sa aking palad ang iyong pangalan. Malilimutan ba ng ina ang anak na galing sa kanya? Sanggol sa kanyang sinapupunan, paano niyan matatalikdan? Ngunit kahit na malimutan ng ina ang anak niyang dangal, hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di mababayaan. Hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di pababayaan. Hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di pababayaan. kailanman sa aking palad ang iyong pangalan. Malilimutan ba ng ina ang anak na galing sa kanya? Sanggol sa kanyang sinapupunan, paano niyang matatalikdan? Ngunit kahit na malimutan ng ina ang anak niyang dangal, hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di mababayaan. Hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di mababayaan. Hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di pababayaan. Hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di pababayaan. Hindi kita malilimutan, hindi kita pababayaan. Nakapukit magpakailanman sa aking palad ang iyong pangalan. Malilimutan ba ng ina ang anak na galing sa kanya? Sanggol sa kanyang sinapupunan, paano niyang matatalikdan? malimutan ng ina ang anak niyang tangan. Hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di mababayaan. Hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di mababayaan.
Hello, can you hear me? I was wondering if after all these years that to go over such a difference
Yeah.
Hello, hello.
Kailan may di pababayaan. Hindi kita
Should I move this?
malilimutan, kailan may
Hello.
I should be over there. Yeah, I'm taller than that. Wait. Yo, send that to me.
Hello, can you hear me? I was wondering if after all this to go over,
I'll have to sing something.
it's such a difference between us.
Yeah.
sa aking malilimutan ba ng ina ang anak na galing sa kanya? Sanggol sa kanyang sinapupunan, paano niyan matatalikdan? Ngunit kahit na malimutan ng ina ang anak niyang tangan, hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may pababayaan, hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may kailanman sa aking ang iyong pangalan. Malilimutan ba na galing sa kanya, sanggol sa kanyang sinapupunan, paano man matatalikdan, ngunit kahit na malimutan ng ina ang anak niyang tangan, hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di mapapabayaan, hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di mapapabayaan.
Before we leave or whenever? He said, oh, hindi na
Hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di pababayaan, hindi kita malilimutan.
Andrew, please approach the bench.
Oh, he's here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please approach the stand.
Yeah.
Andrew's just here to make career connections.
Yeah.
He's just here for the Filipino dentist convention. Yes, dude.
Sydney Jones, could I request your presence at the altar? Whoa. At the urn. Sidney Jones. Sidney Jones.
John Jones Bones. Drop rock smash. Let's go, dude.
The what?
We'll just turn
Oh.
it.
I thought they said hash.
Oh, I can get that too.
Okay, don't breathe when you remove your...
We're taking it off?
No, when we...
Where am I supposed to be?
Don't breathe, we're all there.
Yeah.
You might want to be my desk.
This is good too.
Don't breathe.
Pagkailanman sa aking bahay ang iyong pangalan.
Oh, right there. Not that close. Oh, whoa.
Malilimutan ba ng ina ang anak na galing sa kanya? Sanggol sa kanyang sinapunan.
Lahat.
Paano yan matatalikdan? Ngunit kahit na malimutan ng ina ang anak niyang dangan, hindi kita malilimutan. Kailan may di mapabayaan, hindi kita malilimutan. Kailan may di mapabayaan.
Don't you worry, don't worry. Don't worry.
Hindi kita malilimutan. Kailan may di pababayaan. Hindi kita malilimutan. Kailan may
Paano nangyari yung test pag kailangan i-test para ano? So, nag-test ka ng pagkakas. Teka, hold on. Ito. No. Oo, terno. Mamaya sama ako sa inyo, ha? Sama ako sa inyo.
Pababayaan. sa aking malilimutan ba ng ina ang anak na galing sa kanya? Sanggol sa kanyang sinapupunan, paano niyang matatalikdan? Ngunit kahit na malimutan ng ina ang anak niyang tangang, hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di mapapabayaan. Hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may mapapabayaan. Hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di pababayaan. Hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may kailanman sa aking palad ang iyong pangalan. Malilimutan ba ng ina ang anak na galing sa kanya? Sanggol sa kanyang sinapupunan, paano niyang matatalikdan? Ngunit kahit na malimutan ng ina ang anak niyang tangang. Hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di mapapabayaan. Hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di mapapabayaan. Hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di pababayaan. Hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may pababayaan. Hindi kita malilimutan, hindi kita pababayaan. Nakapukit man pakailanman sa aking palad ang iyong pangalan. Malilimutan ba ng ina ang anak na galing sa kanya? Sanggol sa kanyang sinapupunan, paano niyan matatalikdan? Ngunit kahit na malimutan ng ina ang anak niyang tangang, hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di mapapabayaan. Hindi kita malilimutan, kailan pababayaan. Hindi kita malilimutan kailan may nakabukid man pagkailanman sa aking palad ang iyong pangalan. Malilimutan ba ng ina ang anak na galing sa kanya? Sanggol sa kanyang sinapupunan, paano niyang matatalikdan? Ngunit kahit na malimutan ng ina ang anak niyang tangan, hindi kita malilimutan kailan may di mababayaan.